Right, attempt 2. Hopefully you can hear me. Gonzo, say attempt 2. Now we'll find out in 30 seconds if people can hear us or not. Unusual problem. Now, link in description. There's a link to West Ham against Ipswich. We're going to watch it in 2 minutes, hopefully, if everything's gone well. Skip to 13 minutes on that video and pause it and get ready to go. So, ready for round 2, Gonzo, if people can hear us. Do you always say yes, please, to round 2? Right, well, we'll find out in 30 seconds or something. Right, okay, so here we go. Right, okay. Hopefully people can hear me, but they can't hear you. But hopefully I've solved that. Gonzo, start speaking now.
Hopefully he solved that, and you can hear me as well as him. It's all been solved. We're about to find out in about 20 seconds. If not, you've just seen some lips moving and some hand gestures being made.
I'm pretty confident I'll hear you now. It's an unusual thing in OBS. I've never encountered this problem before, and I've literally not changed the settings since we last done it. So, I don't know. It's broken. I'll figure it out after. So hopefully it's all right for now, and then we can crack on. But like I said, in the description there is a link through to the West Ham against Ipswich game. The full 90 minutes. We're going to start from minute 13 in the video. Skip to the 13th minute in the video because it's the build up. We're going to get a couple of minutes of the build up before the game because the lineups will come up on the screen for us, so we can have a little discussion about the lineups. Then we're going to watch 90 minutes of football, and I'm going to tell you why I chose this game. Now, do you want the good news, Gonzo?
I love the good news.
They can hear both of us. We're ready to rock and roll.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, yes, even better than round 2.
So have you got your game ready?
My game's ready, yeah, absolutely. I've got it all here. West Ham v Crystal Palace, lined up on 16 minutes. Can't wait.
You're in for a sad 90 minutes then. That's what you're ready to watch. I'm in for a good 90 minutes. It's a bit weird, isn't it, watching a game that you know what happens. Have you ever watched, like, do you watch these games back ever?
Never, ever, ever. I did it once. I think I've watched the FA Cup final back once. I've watched the 1966 World Cup back once. Didn't even make all the way through. I say back once. I watched it once. I was that old, am I? No, I'm not. In all honesty, I'm only here to give the ladies something to look at, Geo. I'm not a great fan of.
Well, I might as well just mute you then, won't I?
Yeah, I'll just smile and lift my shirt up from time to time. I can't believe I just said that. Yeah, I'm not a great fan of watching games retrospectively. But hey, look, you know what? Oh, whoops, excuse me. We'll give it a go.
It was a suggestion. I think it was Gary that suggested on a cup of tea. And during this time, I don't say we'll take any content, but original content. So right, but let's play, and we'll keep our tune while going. So people are watching along with us. 13 minutes on the video on YouTube. In 3, 2, 1, play. So you should have a little guy coming out with the smallest ever instrument in his mouth.
I beg your pardon?
What was that?
I'm not seeing that. I've got the Ipswich. Do you say 13 minutes?
Yeah.
I've got the Ipswich sign. It's got the Ipswich team up.
I'm on. How are you on different to me? I've got them just running out the tunnel.
Oh, crikey. Well, this is not good. I used the link that you gave me.
I'm on 13 and 30 seconds.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it to kickoff. That's all I'm going to do. Right, I'm going to take it to kickoff.
Do that.
And we can still talk about it by all means. I'm going to get old some geezer in blue with his foot on the ball. Maybe it's Jim, a young-looking Alan Pardew. And hold on, I'm just going to pause it. So then I can just sync it up with you.
Yeah, I get that. That's the West Ham team.
Come on, boy, kick the ball.
That's the West Ham team on the screen now. Bywater, Repka, Melville, Daly, Mullins, Harewood, Lomas, Carrick, Etherington, Connolly and Zamora. I had to read it quickly because I don't know how long that thing is on the screen for. It might disappear really quick.
A long time if you pause it.
Yeah, but I don't want to pause it, do I? Brevitt, Rio Coker, Mackinoff, Dean and Cernicek, or whatever that...
Cernicek.
Yeah, that's that keeper. That did he ever play a game?
He played lots of games for Newcastle, but he probably won't get in their team now.
Yeah, well, people in the live chat were saying I was correct about what was happening on the 13th minute, so you've done something wrong.
I probably have, or I've just got a different version of it. As I say, yeah, Neil Shipley's just about to kick off, and yeah.
Well, spoiler alert for people that's watching from 30 minutes on. We now know who's going to take the kickoff.
Sorry. I did it with Breaking Bad in the video last week as well, didn't I? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
the Ipswich team, crikey, there's not many names you'll recognise here. Davies in goal, Wilness, Elliott, Naylor and Richards at the back, Wright, Miller, McNillington, Westlake in midfield with Bent and Cookie up front. Not many names there to recognise in hindsight, to be honest with you.
Well, Jim Magilton was a fine footballer, an excellent footballer actually.
Who's he a manager
good career.
of now? Is he a coach or a manager?
I don't know.
I feel like I recognise the name, but my knowledge of teams, not West Ham back in those days, especially in Championship, is not very good. I was at school in this time. I was at school.
Well, Noble used to like Magilton because Noble went on loan there, didn't he? Noble. I think Noble speaks very highly of Magilton. I mean, Magilton was a journeyman pro would probably be about right, but he was very good on the ball. He had good skills. He was a bit like Gordon Cowans in that respect for Aston Villa. Good player, just a really good player, Jim Magilton. I think he had quite a nice impact on Mark Noble's career in terms of playing the ball in the right way and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. And for those watching or just joined us since the video's been going, the link to the game that we're way to watch is in the description. So we'll all watch it. When we go to kick off, we will shout kick off. So we're all at the same point. But I'm currently
everyone could kick off.
Yeah, well, none of that, please. I'm on 16.5 minutes just for people, but we'll kick off. Kick off's just around the corner. Ipswich are ready to kick off with Miller and someone.
Probably Magilton.
Maybe. Right.
No, he's not kicking off, I don't think.
More than just a football team on Pardew's shirt there.
Yeah, so it's about to happen.
Yeah, so here we go. West Ham against Ipswich, second leg of the playoff semi-final, and we have... Not yet. That's taking ages. Come on, ref. Kick off. There we go. Long ball from the start.
Wonderful. I'm in.
Were you at this game?
I was in Miami. I was in Fort Lauderdale, actually.
Oh, well, yeah. I think you missed one of the best games ever, to be honest with you.
I that's true, but I did go to an excellent strip joint.
Fair enough then.
Yeah, I don't so. Yeah, we actually won. Who's he playing in there? Zamora.
It looks like Zamora. This is where you appreciate HD these days, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to be fair, this looked all right on the old tellies, if you know what I mean. Now everyone's got a telly the size of the Empire State Building, and all the frame rates and everything have changed, and it's widescreen. None of this broadcast wasn't made for these types of tellies, so I think it also looks worse. Plus, it's been put through YouTube. So, but it was Zamora who was a decent player, mate. Had good skills. Marlon Harewood on the right in this one starts off on the right, which was a little bit controversial at the time. But we had to go and watch a rerun of this. We had to actually go onto a cruise ship where I think it was Princess Cruises. We had to go onto there because they had some of the British channels. I remember us going on there to watch this. I watched it. I watched it knowing the results, so I guess I have. It's the second time.
I was at this one. I only got to 2 or 3 games a season because I was at school. My dad would take me and my brother to 2 or 3 games each. Normally we got one together, and then on separate occasions we went down. He took me to this one. And to be honest with you, my mum wasn't too keen because this is like, regardless of what year you're in at school, fucking hell, that was a chance for Ipswich, wasn't it? Darren Bent with an absolute sitter there. Long ball over the top. Slow coach Andy Melville.
Yes, sorry, you were saying your mum didn't want you to go.
No, because it was the middle of May, so it's like crucial at school at that time. I wasn't doing exams with that. I wasn't old enough for exams, but I was at that age where they were deciding what sets you go into. So I had to. This is where I was picking my own courses to do. I've done my second year at the academy, where you get given your subjects, don't you? But then for 3rd and 4th year up here, you choose what subjects you focus on.
Yes.
So I was at that stage where I was sitting, whatever you want to call it, I guess there are still exams, in order to decide what level you go into for your chosen subject. So it was quite an important time for me at school. And my dad decided I was having a couple of days off because we were way down to this game. Mother was not too happy.
No. Did you pass your exams?
Well, there's no pass or fail, was there? You just got...
Well, they would have been at the end of the school. Did you pass your exams?
Yeah, I did well at school, yeah.
Oh, okay, well, perhaps your mum was wrong then.
Well, arguably, you could also say my dad was right, because I wasn't really one for studying, if you like. It was, I don't know, blagged it almost, I guess. Here's Thomas Repcat on the ball.
So, I mean, there you go. There's a centre half playing at right back, trying to pass the ball. He got better as his West Ham career went on. I love Thomas Repka. I really did. He was mental. It was a red card waiting to happen, really, as they call red card. But I loved him, really. He was. He didn't want to come. I think he was from Fiorentina. Glenn Roeder signed him for $5 million. It may well have been our world. Oh, unlucky Marlon cutting in. On his left peg as well. Let's have another look.
I was about to say, crikey, we've got like Antonio is probably still at school at this time, but yeah, we've got someone representing Antonio by cutting in with his weak foot and blazing one over the bar.
I thought that wasn't a bad effort, to be fair. Let's have a look from reverse angle. I'm being told here as well.
What do they call it these days?
Maybe it was higher than I anticipated, but Glenn Roeder signed Thomas Repka. I think it's $5 million from Fiorentina. He didn't want to come. Thomas Repka did not want to come to West Ham. But bearing in mind he didn't, but he was sort of forced out the door by Fiorentina. He wanted to stay in Italy. But bearing in mind he didn't want to be there, it shows such a good attitude that he still gave 100% every time. Really good player. Would have played for probably better teams than he did if he hadn't have, had that poor discipline streak.
You say he gave 100%. I think that was part of his problem. I think sometimes he shouldn't have given, because he gave 100. Well, you could say 110% or whatever. But that was the issue. It got him in trouble too often. If he was a bit calmer, I think he would have been a better player. I think.
Well, he should have been bought. He should have been bought anyway. Should have stayed at centre back. But he should have been bought to play alongside Rio. That's what should have happened. We shouldn't have sold Rio. If he'd have been bought to play alongside Rio, it would have been things like that, which had we have kept that team of really good youngsters together. People like him coming in alongside the sort of almost to play the Vidic role, if you like, alongside Rio Ferdinand as they played at Man United, would have been a really good.
Roeder did play him centre back.
Yes, I know. Yeah, and then he switched him. But
I think it was Pardew that moved him, wasn't it? Pardew shifted him out to the right back position.
Yeah, absolutely. We had trouble with right backs. For years, arguably, we still do. I think Lucas Neal has seemed to sort that out for a little while. But it is a Sebastian Schemmel got. I think he got Hammer of the Year.
Hello. Stevie Lomas.
Nice guy, Lomas, by the way. Nice guy, really good guy. Yeah. Oh, blimey, yeah, it was decent, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. Funny times, mate. Funny times, really.
For those watching live, we are. I'm going to say 6 minutes. We're 6 minutes 15 seconds. That's what we're on at the minute. 6 minutes 15. Lomas has just hit the bar and she's gone out for a goal kick. I was in the sort of. It was down beside the chav corner for this one, but round a bit. It was more west stand than Sir Trevor Booking stand, but it was down in that corner. And that night was just. Well, we'll get on to the atmosphere a little bit. When I put out on Twitter that we were going to be doing this video, someone says, Chris Mills replying says, "Is someone going to come and shake my sofa so it feels like I was there?" I like that.
Sure.
I like that comment.
They're probably not. But with social distancing, probably not going to happen.
Depends how big his sofa is.
It is. It's a 2.5 metre sofa. Make it someone to do it. I don't know.
Did you think we were going to go out? I mean, we were 1-0 down after the first leg. I was too young to fully understand football at this point. You know, when you're young, you just want to watch football and you don't think too much about results in the league table and the repercussions of promotion and relegation. I don't really remember considering all that when I was younger. We just win or lose over 90 minutes and we move on to the next 90 minutes. It's probably a bit more fun like that, isn't it? When you're not sort of worrying about a month, 2 months, 3 months, and we probably play our part in that sort of mentality now. But back then, as a child, didn't care about it. Or I say didn't care, I just didn't tune in. I got my Match magazine and read a little bit of this, and that was my football news.
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult for me because I was, for years I would take any information that I could get about West Ham. So, you do the CFAX, you do the teletext, you do the club call. You just try and take anything that you could, and OLAS. I mean, I would try and make OLAS. I'd try and make OLAS last 2 weeks, which was just such a good publication. I mean, it was just so good. It was so good when it really made you feel connected to the club and connected to the fans. Particularly when there were times when you wouldn't have any contact with the club for all the reasons that I said. This was so I always was trying to get as much contact with the club and the news as much as I could, and then. But this particular time was quite weird for me because I was away. I was overseas. I was definitely back for the final, by the way. But I remember watching this overseas. I remember being overseas, and there was no teletext, there was no CFAX, there was no nothing. Wasn't able to get any information from Sky or any of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, and I certainly looking at this here. I don't think I couldn't have. Well, I don't remember checking forums and things like that at the time, no. So I don't remember giving this an awful lot of thought. But I do remember being fearful of Darren Banks. He was just a really, really good striker,
Well, the hype. While he never made it to a top Premier League striker, he had a very solid Premier League career, didn't he? I mean, he's not like a Premier League legend or nothing, but he certainly scored plenty of goals and made plenty of appearances after Ipswich Town and stuff. So I think we were right to feed him for this. Yeah, I don't remember feeling the importance of the next one with Sam Allardyce as manager of that playoff. I remember thinking about the repercussions and whatnot, but this one I didn't really understand it, if you like. I was just too young, I guess. I'll tell you what I've noticed from this though, there's been a couple of meaty challenges early on in the game and only one free kick given. In today's football, that would have been a booking, I think, actually. I don't know who it was. It might have been David Conley himself that done the foul. So even back then, 2004, it was still a little bit of a tougher game, if you like. See there, a little nudge in the back of Zamora, and the ref say, "Nah, get on with it, play on, carry on."
Yeah, I mean, but we're not afraid to hoof it. If you look as well, we're not mucking around. I mean, it was another one. I mean, basically, we don't have a fullback in this game.
No,
we got a centre half and a midfielder at fullback. So, and a striker on the wing. In fact, he's that first touch of record. It's terrible. In many respects, he's doing everything wrong. I mean, that's great from Repka there for a centre half. I mean, really, really good, really, really good. Go on. That's a save and half, by the way.
How's he missed though? He should not be missing that. Correct.
I don't think he did. It was a save. I mean, it was just.
Nah, Cooper shouldn't have a chance. Cooper should not have a chance.
Well, that was a spectacular save. Let's have a look.
It was, but look, the keeper should be getting. Like, that's a poor header from Zamora as well. It's just down the middle, get in the corner. That's a goal.
I'll praise the keeper.
If you were an adult at the game, if you were at that game, you must be thinking, "Come on, 11 minutes in, we've hit the bar. They've missed a sitter. We've just missed a really good opportunity with a header here." You must be thinking, "Crikey, this is going to be a really close game. This one."
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, just obviously players like. I think it's funny actually. I don't want to say that people didn't appreciate how good Carrick was, because they did. I remember Ian Wright when Joe Cole was coming through. Remember Ian Wright saying, everyone was going mad about Joe Cole, and Ian Wright liked Joe Cole, but Ian Wright turned around and he said, "Hold on, you want to see this boy Carrick?"
Yeah.
He's really good. So everybody knew how good he was. Did people know he was going to turn out to be one of the best players in Europe, which he was, by the way. I don't know, but we got some good players there. But as I say, it's almost he's done everything wrong. He's got at least 3 players out of position there. And, it's quite a funny one, really. So, as a man, but he didn't lack confidence, did he?
No.
Pardew, let's be fair.
No, I mean, you could argue that staying down another season helped us out in the long run. You wouldn't want to be playing this 11 in the Premier League, would you?
No, no. No. But of course, he's got Rio Coke. It's funny. Rio Coke is a funny one, really, isn't he? I know he's not everybody's favourite player, but so we signed him, I think, and a guy called Adam Noland, quite possibly from MK. Yeah, it wasn't Wimbledon, or was it MK Dons? I don't know. Can't remember. Maybe it was Wimbledon.
I think it was Wimbledon, wasn't it?
It was Wimbledon. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Anyway, they both. Maybe they haven't changed their name yet or something. I don't know. Perhaps they'd moved. I've got a feeling they'd already moved at that point. Not sure. Anyway, but Rio Coca looked like he was going to be a real player, and he was really good for a couple of seasons, and then funny one, really.
Well, they just say he believed his own hype too much in the end. They say that he did have all this crikey keeper.
It's like you on FIFA.
Oy. Yeah, I think Rio Coca was talented. I think he just believed that he was more talented than he was, and that sort of lost him his way a little bit, because his career just sort of spiraled eventually, didn't it? He was over in Canada not long ago, I think, playing football in Canada. He went to the MLS, but for some reason I think he went to a Canadian team after. So, not ideal for Rio Coca. But it's funny, because all the ex-players that played with him speak highly of him. Do you know, like, how the fans have got a perception of him?
Yeah.
The players say, hang on, you've not really got the right one there. And it's almost like, it's a bit like Ravel Morrison. You know, fans often look at Ravel and think, what a waste of talent, attitude's all wrong. And people that played with Ravel said, hang on a minute, he's unbelievable talent. He just couldn't hack it mentally. He just was mentally just not up to the job. And I think they're sort of suggesting the same with Rio Coca, that he had the talent. He just, if that was switched on, he would have been a damn good player, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but I mean, you're looking at a very different upbringing between Rio Coca and Ravel Morrison. I mean, Ravel Morrison had a reputation of being a street urchin, basically. But I think Rio Coca, something like his mum was a doctor and his dad was a barrister, or something like that. I mean, he had a very highly educated, well-to-do family. You know, he should have had basically the two upbringings are vastly different. So, it's funny that you can almost understand why Ravel Morrison went off the rails. Did you see the thing with Gaza? Talk about genius. Have you seen the thing in the shed and all that?
No.
Oh, right. I'll send you the WhatsApp thing, but I can't, obviously there's people watching, so can't just leave it there. There's these guys not breaking into a shed. It's clearly someone's got a big man cave in their garden. They've got a pool table in there, a bar, and all the rest of it. And it's this group of guys going into the shed, clearly during lockdown, to have a drink. They don't care. There's no social distancing going on. They don't care about any of this stuff. But anyway, it turns out Gaza's in there. And I always think it's a sad sight, Gaza. And I know it's before your time, but such a fantastic player. People don't talk about him for no reason. I've still yet to see a more talented English player than Paul Gascoigne. But it's always sad when you see him, because he don't look well. No. So yeah, he's out of it again. And then there's his second video following it up. Not sure the context of it, but the whole man cave's been smashed up. I mean, really smashed up. So all the windows are broken and everything's weird. I'll send you the WhatsApp thing.
Did you see? This is Michael Carrick's second last ever game for us. When you think about it.
Of course it would be. Yeah.
He plays against Palace in the playoff final, then he's off skating too. So this is his second. This is the last ever game at Upton Park. This for Michael Carrick. But I agree with you as well. I agree with you. I think he was one of the best penalties ever seen. The problem is he's not like his position doesn't fit with the modern game tag. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're a defensive mid and attacking mid. What is Carrick? Because I know you'll say, well, he's a deep playmaker and that, but it's almost not enough for people to include them in their all-time Premier League 11s or something. And I'm probably one of those people. If you wrote down your all-time Premier League 11, would you put Carrick in there? I mean, not on that pass, but but you know what I mean? Like, I think he's one of the best passers we've ever seen in the league, but I don't know, I just feel like he's It's a pity he didn't have one other trait to him. If he was a really good tackler or something as well, we'd have put him up there with Makelele, for example.
Yeah, I mean, he was a long passer. I mean, he was he was basically a player not dissimilar to Glenn Hoddle. He was a long passer of the ball, very good. Jamie Redknapp would be another one as well. I mentioned him quite a lot. Such you just do get really. I mean, Beckham was a great long passer, but he was on the wing, so there were crosses and stuff like that. But when Beckham did play in the middle, he passed the ball around like Carrick, So just. It's a hell of an attribute. I don't particularly like the term, but I can understand where it comes from when they call players like him a quarterback. I understand the comparison because it's you look at you watch Gridiron, that's the guy who throws the ball long and basically plays people in over long distances. So I understand the comparison, as I say. But yeah, I mean, because we've got our own term, which is playmaker, which he is, which is different to a number 10. So a metronome, keeps things ticking over and slows the game up, slows the game down, speeds it up. Just like there, little pass, little 2-yard pass, because that was it. It was the right thing to do at the time.
Yeah. Anyway, people in the live chat, if you've got any comments, whether it's opinions or about this game or stuff, get them in. Any questions, get them in, and we'll start bringing the live chat into this one. The Sonny's in there. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We're in the 19th minute and 10 second of the gameplay, the match footage that is, not on the YouTube video. If you wish to catch up with us, but yeah, I chose this one because not that many games on YouTube. We need all 90 minutes on YouTube, and there's obviously a massive copyright issue. So I mean, this guy should probably not have uploaded it, but he has. So thank you very much to Darth Lemsip.
That is my favourite. That is my favourite sort of dark remedy when I've got a cold.
Well, I think he's also going to lose his video soon. Eventually, this video will disappear. But while it's there, I thought we'll do it. And Gary Ucha.
It's a good shot.
It's a good shot. Things to come.
I mean, the thing is, the club, as I've heard this from a couple of people. Number one, from Canning Town Len, and number 2 from Nigel Khan, the club don't own this footage or almost any footage, believe it or not. Something went, you'd have to ask them, but something went wrong down the years. So Nigel Khan has got pretty much all the historic footage of everything, which he's got from official sources and whatnot. I say he's got everything archived, but the club don't have it. So I mean, the club were quite close to basically taking Len's film and publishing it and running with it, and they didn't do it on DVD because I don't think they thought there was much money in DVDs anymore. So they didn't take the content. They're probably kicking themselves now because they've probably been putting that sort of thing out at the moment. But the idea why Len did so many animations was because it's almost impossible to find out who owns what footage. It's all owned by lots and lots of different people. Whereas now, the club have the footage.
Bobby,
nice. It's more unlucky.
Bobby, that was a great cross into that. I think we almost missed this in the Premier League a little bit. A real proper old school winger like Etherington. Look at him, just one cross, one touch, just get the ball in. No. I guess what you call it. It's almost like tiptoe approach to a fullback, isn't it? Like what Sterling and that do. They go at the fullback on their tiptoes, almost waiting for the move, and then they go past him. But Etherington, none of that. Let's get in.
Happy to cross from deep. I think that's the thing as well. They don't have to get to the byline and then cross. They're happy to.
Like Zamora, you must love that though. When you see the ball getting laid off there, you must think this is coming in the box. I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
These days, your striker, it's almost hard to guess when the ball's going to come in because half the time it doesn't, do they? Especially if you play for someone like City, the ball tends to go backwards to someone else. But yeah, good course. What were you saying about Len? And then we'll go to the live chat.
Well, yes. It's just now the club. So basically, broadcast the footage, and the club keeps some for themselves because they record it themselves as well. So I reckon all recent years, 6, 7, 8 years, the club have their own footage of all the games. It's not a problem. They've got stuff archived, which the club own. But anything before that, the club don't own the footage, which is a massive issue for them to produce any sort of decent historical content with match footage in, they don't own it.
See, I like that. Look at that. Zamora goes up with the keeper. Davis does everything right, stands up, collects the ball, but we carry on. Today in the Premier League, that keeper goes down, rolls around, holding his face. Defender probably wades in for a fight. Yeah, old school. A lot of people in the live chat enjoying Michael Carrick's mullet. And they seem to like Michael Carrick's hairdo in this because it zoomed in a couple of times and he does have a little bit of a, I don't know what the word is, a little bit of something going on in the back of his neck, curling up a little bit, getting a bit too long. Oi Ducky, Geo, do you wish you were born earlier for football, or are you content learning footy history? That goes for you as well. Do you ever wish you were born longer?
Yeah, not for football reasons. Not for football reasons. Yeah, I think.
Did you see that tackle? That is a booking any day these days.
It was the old two-footed stamp. Get
the ball on, you get. It's amazing, isn't it, when people say, "Oh, football's got soft." This is 2004, when you would consider this to be the soft era, or the start of the soft era, I feel like. But here they are, banning in the tackles, and there's no. It's just carry on. It's almost surprising, actually. I would have thought football was a bit softer than this back then. It just shows what Repcar really had to do to get this much bookings if you're getting away with that in a game.
Yeah.
For Oi Ducky, yeah, I'm a bit like Gonzo. It's not necessarily footballing reasons. Like it's just everything. I always think I was born a couple of generations too late. My mindset's slightly different from people, especially the generation below me today. My mindset's completely different to them with. Born Idol, a lot of them, maybe not, but a lot of them are. A lot of them are Born Idol. Toby Aldridge kindly donated $4.99 to the super chat. Thank you, Toby.
Thank you, Toby.
Me and Gonzo will get some biscuits with that. Favourite 3 players whilst watching West Ham. Let's do this game first. 3 players out the starting 11 from this one. I think it's a bit easier said than done because some of them you can write off pretty quick, can't you?
I'll start with Zamora because I just think he's such a clever footballer, such a good footballer. If he'd have been half a second quicker over 100 metres, what a player Bobby Zamora would have been. You said about Carrick having something else. Zamora would have been a little bit quicker. What a fantastic player he is. Really, really skillful and intelligent. Very, very bright. But of course, he was at West Ham's academy before he went to Brighton. He came up through the ranks at West Ham, so he would have been taught in that mould anyway. So yeah, Zamora will be my first. What about you, Gio?
Carrick. I think Carrick would be my first one on this one. Just for the reason I've already said, just his passing. I think it's a very... People seem to assume that pinging a 60-yard pass onto someone's toe is easy to do. Now, go down the park with your mate, and it probably is easy to do, but bring it into a game situation when someone's breathing down your neck and you've got 2 touches and you've got half a second and still manage to pull it off and make it look easy. Incredible skill and technique.
Yeah, I'll go with Carrick as well. But
I watched on social media at the minute. A lot of the official accounts, Sky Sports and whatnot, are doing like throwbacks, aren't they? And so they're having a look at the olden days. And Man United beat Roma 7-1 in the Champions League semi-final. Champions League quarter-final it was, I think. They beat Man United. Man U beat Roma 7-1 at Old Trafford. And Carrick scored 2 in both goals. One of them he absolutely belted, but one of them he was about 30 yards out. He just passed it into the top corner.
Passed it into the goal. With probably a bit of curl as well on it.
He just passed it though. He didn't. No laces, nothing. Just pinpoint accuracy. And you thought, wow. The only player I've seen do something like that since is Toni Kroos. He's the only. I remember him scoring for, I think it was Germany actually in a qualifier. He just passed it 30 yards out. He just passes it into the bottom corner of the net, and the keeper just can't get near it.
Liam Brady. I love these players like that. As I say, Jamie Redknapp, Glenn Hoddle, Liam Brady was like that as well. Because played by Arsenal and Juventus primarily, but came to us at the end of his career was an absolute classy player. He was someone like that. Was just in full control of the football, basically, over any distance he wanted to be. Yeah, wonderful skill to have, mate.
Who's your third player? Because I would have Zamora and you'd have Carrick, so we're both the same for the first 2. Who's your third player?
I'd go with Repka for the reasons that I said earlier. I just think I loved his attitude. I think he was I think he was underrated. I think he gets judged sometimes as a right back, which he just wasn't. Was that how it looked almost like handball there?
That was handball, yeah. VAR would be having a fit right now if this was in play.
Wouldn't it just?
Do you think VAR would give this?
Yes.
I don't know.
100%.
I think we'd have to wait 5 minutes for them to decide because it's sort of like in the box, so we'd have to get reviewed. But VAR would look at that. No moaning though. Look at Ipswich. Yeah, no fine, no problem. Let's just get on with it. Repka for you.
Just to rub in. I just think it's such a good centre half, and don't it's. I'm not sure how much the. I think that's a really good ball. Really good. I don't know how much the reputation has changed, but Italy always had the best defensive setup, was always the best tactically. And particularly at the time Replica came out there, make no mistake about it, he's come from Italy where they really knew how to defend. As a centre-half, I think he was really good. He was just, unfortunately, a red card waiting to happen. But I loved his attitude. I do love 100 people to give 100% and grit their teeth and battle and fight. I do like that a lot,
Yeah, choosing my third one's difficult here. I loved Haywood. Etherington I really like because I can resonate with him because I was left-footed and for the large part of my playing years I finished playing left midfield, if you like. For my younger years I was playing left wing back, which was a near on impossible task, but his directness I like, and it's tempting to pick Daly and Mullins as well for obvious reasons, but I'll go with Etherington just because I'm hoping Diangana can be a bit like that, to be honest with you. I hope Diangana can. It's a bit like, funny enough, me and Gonzo played FIFA the other night, and Gonzo was trying to take the piss out of McNeil, saying McNeil, just in a fun gesture way. But McNeil was a bit like Etherington was, played on the side with his foot, because normally they play on the opposite sides now, like Manny and Salah, and cut in. Etherington was none of that. Just get down the touchline, get to the byline if you have to, get the ball in. And McNeil's like that, and I'm hoping Diangana can be like that with us. I just hope it doesn't get coached into him so much that he cannot take on his man, or he doesn't have a go at the fullback. So that's what I enjoy there.
I do wonder this modern thing. So you're looking at here, both teams are playing with two guys up, and this modern thing you mentioned about Everington, and Everington of course crossed. So he's a left footer on the left hand side and cross from deep. Mentioned Beckham earlier on was a right footer. Beckham used to cross from deep, largely because he had no pace to start with, but his technique was so good he could curl it round and from a deep position anyway. I do wonder this sort of modern thing that you're talking about now, which is that's unlucky. That first touch unlucky there. This modern thing about playing the wrong winger on the wrong side, so basically then you stop and you cut in. So, for instance, playing Iron Robin would be the one. Plays on the left, plays on the right-hand side. He was brilliant at it when he went to Bayern Munich. You know what he was going to do, though, which basically cut in and try and shoot with his left foot. I wonder if that has something to do with not playing two up. You're almost killing a bit of time to have one guy in there. Maybe it was a lot easier when there were two guys in the box. You would definitely at least have one that could head.
Yeah, definitely.
So you could swing it in because you have more numbers in there. How much of now is killing time to allow more support to come in? So then you get to the byline, you check back, you come in on your stronger foot.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I really agree with that. Considering players are probably considered more faster these days, or more athletic as well. And Tom Bowles made a good point. He says in-swing crosses are harder to defend against. I would agree with that, but they're also harder to get wrong. So if you get a outswinger wrong, what's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to go out for a throw-in on the far side, or it's going to hit the edge of the box or something. But if you get an in-swinger wrong, it tends to go out for a goal kick, and then the tack's is completely done, isn't it? So I do think there's pros and cons to both, really.
Of course, there is one. Okay, we've touched it. We've actually thought the obvious one. We've seen Trent Alexander-Arnold, which is exactly what we're talking about with a long passing, with a Carrick and all the rest of it, and a crossing as well, of course. A couple of times you've seen him score. He's passed the ball into the back of the net from long range.
Yeah, but then if Salah didn't cut in, Trent Alexander-Arnold wouldn't be effective because Salah would be in his way all the time.
Of course. I'm just talking about that technique, that long range, that technique over long distances is. Funny. I saw him on. I may get off the subject, but hey, look, we've got a couple of hours to fill. We can get off the subject, can't we? I saw when I looked at the transfermarket.co.uk. I noticed his value was 89 million. Trent Alexander-Arnold on there. Forget all the stuff about what's happening currently with the market. Would that seem about right? Do you think?
Nah, more than that.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think he's more than that. I think he's so young. He's just because of his age. It's just he's got ridiculous talent and ability. I think he'd be. He's almost priceless, actually. How do you price someone like that? Because you can't replace him. Liverpool cannot buy anyone that's good as or better than him.
And he's a Scouser.
Yeah, so he's just priceless. You cannot. I don't think he's that good defensively. Like I think he's actually Liverpool's weak point, but Liverpool know that that's his weakness, and he's got better at it as the season's gone on. I think Trent's got better at defending. Here we go. Got a book in. The referee's getting his cards out. I had a notepad. When did they get rid of the notepad?
Do they not have a notepad?
Yeah, look, he's got his notepad out. Look.
Oh, what? You saying they don't have notepads anymore?
No, they write on the card. These days.
That was his knee first, by the way.
Have you never noticed? Nowadays, the referee just takes out his yellow card, shows it, and he writes on the yellow card the number or the name.
Which makes more sense.
Yeah. But there, he took out his old. It's like a.
But it used to be called a file effects. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You get to take a laptop out of him.
That must be an annoying thing to cart around on a pitch when you're running up and down, having that notepad bouncing around in your pocket.
Yes, it did. Mind you, now they've got an aerosol can, haven't they? So.
Yeah, could you imagine taking that out though when it's raining, the paper getting all wet?
That is true, and the pencil wouldn't work in the rain. Maybe
so we've got a coach over your notepad.
Yeah, who's booked? Oh, I don't know.
Smudged it. Fuck. It might have been you. I'm not that sure. Waste of a free kick.
Absolutely. You look at Carrick's hairstyle and you look at Connolly's. You think, oh, do you know what? I booked one of you. One of you with a dodgy hairstyle. I booked. Yeah.
Yeah. A young Michael Carrick, anyway. Back in the days.
I might grow mine like that.
Well, someone has said that you're playing centre back with Christian Daly.
Someone said I would look like Repka earlier. I'll go. I prefer Repka to Melville.
No, I think I'll call you Andy Melville, my favourite.
Yeah, that is not the player. You know, you want a nickname of one West Ham player. Melville wouldn't be high up the list, would he?
Or Luke Chadwick.
Oh no, that's a bad one. He basically had his whole face reconstructed, didn't he, Luke Chadwick?
Yeah, I don't know, but he looks. I've seen him not long ago because he's a coach at. I think he's got a reasonably decent enough League One side or something. I think he's a coach. Oh, it's a nice meaty tackles going in here. See, this helps the atmosphere. Do you know the reason I like this game? I can't hear it because I've had to mute YouTube to hear Gonzo and stuff, so I've got no sound, right? But hopefully the atmosphere is good at this point for people. But I imagine when those tackles went in, the crowd start cheering. Yes, go on. You know, nowadays because there's no meaty tackles and that, it sort of sucks the emotion out of the game. We all say the atmosphere is dead because of all the seaters. I think it's tied into tackling. I think tackling and the aggression displayed gets fans applauding and cheering. Because I don't know about you, but I certainly clap a proper slide tackle. Do you know if someone goes in, bang, wins the ball, and it's play on? I certainly cheer and applaud. And just watching that there, 2 or 3 went in by Ipswich players, so you can imagine their fans cheering away, West Ham fans sitting quiet, and then suddenly Carrick went flying, or Lomas it was. Lomas goes flying in and wins it. All of a sudden our fans are then like, yeah, let's go. It's like a battle. And I think actually the art of tackling it's killing atmospheres watching this.
Well, it's not just the art of tackling. To be fair, John Moncur was terrible at tackling. But at the start of every game, he used to just go in and just do somebody, basically. And then he'd pick up his card, the crowd would go mad. And you know, he used to do exactly what you're saying. He used to get the crowd going with a nasty tackle, basically.
So do you think tackling now, or lack of tackling, is contributing to what we consider to be poor atmospheres around the Premier League?
Look, it would be a factor, but I mean it would be one of 20 factors or something like that.
I've never considered it though. I've never considered tackling being a contribution to why atmospheres are poor.
Well, listen, you asked, what did we do? Cup of tea?
Yeah.
Spoke about Tony Adams, didn't I? I spoke about Roy Keane. On here, I've been speaking about Thomas Repka. I love me number 10s and all the rest of it. I really do. You know, my favourite players are probably, fast wingers and things like that. But I do have a love for nasty, crunchy, players. I think it's tackling is a proper part of it. Drive, determination. I mean, that mistake by the keeper there was completely down to the fact he was chased down.
Yeah,
There was no technique involved in that. That was just determination to close him down.
Yeah, I like a good crunchy tackle. When I was younger, I used to like a tackle as well. I only ever got sent off once playing football, and I got sent off after the game.
What did you do?
Told the referee what I thought of him. We were playing a game. If we won, we went top of the league, and the team we were playing were like second or no, we were second. The team we were playing were like third in the league. It was 0-0, and we scored late on. Then we were 2-1 down. There wasn't that long to go, and we're at a corner. We had everyone in the box, and our keeper come up for it. And our keeper actually headed it. And the guy on the line was A, behind the line, B, he punched it. The guy on the line, the other team's defender on the post, he armed it out. So we were all like, goal or pen, happy days. So they booted away. So the referee was like, no, keep going, boys. So we were like, what? So at this point, all our coaches and stuff are like on the pitch, essentially, saying to the ref, what the fuck, what's going on here? So the game got continued, and that full time went. Now, I was shaking the other team's hands because they had done nothing wrong as far as I'm concerned. So the referee come over to me and put his hand out. So I basically said, I don't fucking think so. So he's like, pardon. I was like, you're a cheating wanker. So he was like, right, over here. I was like, oh, fuck off, you cunt. So he sent me off, direct red card. So then I got my letter in from the FA saying what I said. So my mum was reading. My mum was like, did you say this to him?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I did. So it's just like, well, you can't appeal it, can you? So
No.
I was like, no.
And she said, I knew I was wrong to let you go to that Ipswich game with your dad. That's where you learnt this terrible language off those English people.
My dad was on the pitch.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He wasn't the referee.
No, he was on the pitch shouting at the referee as well, because I think it was a big old thing though, because the team I played for were a really small team, and there was only one team, our team, and where I live now in the town had like 5 or 6 teams at my age group, and they had all the money, so they would cherry pick all the best players, and our players refused to go to play for this team. So when I was at school, everyone in my class and stuff played for the same team, but there was only like 3 or 4 of us in my whole school that played for this one team. And we were really crap when we first started. We were really crap, but over the years we got better. And this year, we got promoted, and we were in the top league. So this was to go top of the top league, if you like. So it was almost like a long journey. And this referee mugged us right off. So we ended up finishing second in the league. But yeah, that was my only red card. Tell the referee he's a cunt. To be honest with you, I'm quite proud of it. Mark Boundy, what happened to Callum Davenport? Didn't he have some kind of race issue, something to do with his sister? I don't really know. All I remember is he stabbed someone.
Yeah, well, that's what I remember. I don't know why.
Is it something to do with his girlfriend?
I don't know. I don't know why. I know he stabbed someone.
Yeah, he stabbed someone.
I didn't know it was a race issue or.
No, I don't think it was.
I presumed it was some domestic quarrel. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Valerie of Southampton. Have you seen the accusations of him?
What?
It's just accusations, but there was a female at the minute saying that she had a baby. She fell pregnant, and it was Valerie's child. And Valerie spiked her drink, so she lost the baby. And she's now claiming like she's been forced to sign NDAs from the club, Southampton that is, and but she's now decided she's speaking up, and she's been posting like birth certificates and death certificates on Twitter and stuff. And Valerie last season was injured for a large period of time, so people are now putting 2 and 2 together, saying, "Oh, was he injured or was all this?"
Well, well, the worst thing, that in there. Well, number one, you can't prove it. How can you prove that if there's, I don't know, how would there'd have to be some trace of something in your system, I'd imagine.
There is, because basically when within days of her drinking this drink, she had pains and stuff, and she got tested, and her baby whilst in her had heart deficiencies, so as soon as it was born, it was in trouble, and it passed away.
Well, yeah, no, that's a terrible shame, but how would you prove that it was Valerie that did it? What is worrying there is for the club to know about that if they did, and then insist that she signs a non-disclosure agreement.
It happens all the time. But what's Valerie worth? 15 million?
Yeah, but how could they make her sign if she's nothing to do with the club? How could she make her sign that she? They must have paid her.
Yeah,
They must have paid her.
they might have done. I don't know. This is all just accusations and allegations at the minute, but the documents that have been put on social media seem very, very genuine, with names and dates and stuff like that. So it's not a good look. I mean, we can't. They're saying about Calm Downport. They put the live chat saying that he got stabbed by his sister's boyfriend.
Right. Okay.
His sister's partner. And they were saying that he was coloured, but it wasn't a racist thing. It was just a domestic or whatever. So yeah, but I mean, it's not as bad as the Borough rumour with Randolph, is it? I mean, it's no better than that. Not going to go into it. It's just a rumour, an allegation. But all you have to do is Google it, and it'll come up. It's on Instagram by his former partner.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that. If I do, I've forgotten it. What I would say about the Southampton one, if Southampton have paid a mum to shut up about the death of her baby so it doesn't ruin the reputation of a club, if that is true, I would expect them to face. I would expect them to face a harsher punishment than anyone for FFP. Yeah. That is possibly the most serious. That would be. Look. If you get points deductions in football for trying to cheat at football by cooking the books, let's say, I would certainly expect them trying to cover up the death of a baby with money to be more of a punishment than that. I would expect the highest punishment you possibly could do if that is the case, if that's the truth, because that would possibly almost be the worst story I've ever heard in Premier League football.
Anyway, coming up to half time, 44 minutes 15 on the clock for us. It's still 0-0, but the second half livens up a little bit. Saying that, it's been quite eventful. I'd imagine at this point, those a West Ham fan, you're getting a bit nervous, aren't you?
Squeaky bum.
Three quarters of the playoff semi-final is now gone, and you're 1-0 down. I certainly wouldn't be booking my day off for Wembley just yet. But to be fair, you'd be looking at the bench thinking, all right, we've got a couple of players on there. Rio Coker's on there. McAnuff was on there, who was all right for us, I thought.
I liked him.
Yeah, I liked him as well. So a lot of people, some tone I think it was saying, David Connolly, why didn't we keep a hold of him? I mean, he's been very inspirational in the first half of this game, isn't he? He's on the ball just now. Okay, he just lost it, but he's very hard working.
I know. McAnuff was from Wimbledon as well.
Yeah. I think we signed him in a trio, Rio Coker, McAnuff and Noland. I think we signed all three of them. Someone earlier said Wimbledon were having a fire sale, and that was why we picked all three of them up. But I thought Pardew's knowledge of the Championship was very good when we were in the Championship. His player purchases for that league, I thought were really good, on the money.
I liked him.
Yeah.
I've said this loads of times, of course, but I really liked him. Really did. Thought he got it. He understood about West Ham straight away. The whole thing, that was his idea, more than just a football club, all of that stuff. The way he spoke about the history when he came in, he said, I need to learn about the history of this club. But the stark difference, I mean, you mentioned in your video the other day about Allardyce and Bobby Moore and all that. I thought it was stark difference between when Allardyce came in. I don't want to.
He's literally in the touchline wearing a Bobby Moore t-shirt, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Was totally different. Remember when it was the anniversary of the death of Bobby Moore, and Allardyce turned around and said, I always remember Bobby Moore as a Fulham player. He knew what he was doing. By the way, he knew what he was doing when he said that. He thought, and he was manager of West Ham. He thought, I'm going to rub these guys up the wrong way. The disrespect he showed to the heritage of the club was huge, actually, Geo, because. Whereas I say Pardew was stark opposite. He was, I'm Crystal Palace, but you know what, I'm going to learn about West Ham. Fair play to him. I liked him. I really did. Right,
ladies and gentlemen, this is where it gets awkward. You're not going to have to skip forward to 1 hour, 20 minutes on the YouTube video, okay? 1 hour and 20 minutes, because that is when the second half kicks off, okay? So 1 hour 20 minutes is when the second half comes underway. Ipswich are making a half-time sub. So I've got it at 1 hour 19:54. I will shout kickoff. When I start playing, I will eventually shout kickoff, and then that's when we kick off the second half with Connolly and Lomas. It looks like it's going to take a kick off. Are you ready, Gonzo?
No, nearly.
It's all right. I'll wait 30 seconds so people watching can go to the other tab and get ready and whatnot. So 1 hour 20 minutes is when the kickoff is for the second half of this game. This is where it gets good. It's the only good thing about doing a watch along of a previous game. You know what's going to happen. We were doing this live. Could you imagine doing this live, like now? Say, I don't know, we were Fulham or something this year, because this is the equivalent of Fulham in the Championship this season. Playoff semi-final at home, you were doing a watch along on the fan channel. Crikey, you'd be effing and blinding, you'd be slamming things, you'd be shouting at the screen as to why is Harewood playing right midfield, why is Mullins left back, what is going on with this team, how are we in the playoff with this team, what is going on?
Yeah, I'm pleased I'm setting my chair and my feet up, being quite relaxed about it, actually. I'm ready when you are, mate.
Let's get ready to kick off. I've pushed play, kickoff's down on the spot, they're getting ready to go. Michael Carrick's having a little word with Stevie Lomas. We're on the referee, who looks a bit confused. Probably wondering why he's not allowed to write on his yellow card. And here we go. Ready, get steady, and kick off. Let's go. Second half underway. It's still 0-0 on our highlights reel.
That was a good start.
Yeah, so straight out for a goal kick. Some things just don't change, do they? Ball booted right out for a goal kick. Cy Smith just said he's been watching all games and he's noticed that what is accepted as fair tackles have got watered down bit by bit. Tone's asking why Etherington and Melville, I think he's meaning me and you here, why have the club not released the footage of West Ham Mullins? We've discussed that, and they just don't have the rights to the watching the. They have the rights to the thing. Mark Boundy, here's a good. I like this question. Would you take any of this West Ham team in their prime and replace them with someone in the current team?
Good question. Question.
Carrick gets in any day of the week. Of course he does. Right, because he says in their prime. I don't know if he means in the prime of their career or in their prime of West Ham, but either or, Carrick still gets in for me.
I think so. I think Zamora, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I think he would suit our play better than what Allaire does.
Obviously, you can't put the fullbacks in. Don't really have any on this game, as we mentioned.
You wouldn't put in the keeper. You wouldn't put Bywater in. Etherington would certainly get a run out, even if he was just on the bench to bring on. Because I feel we lack that sometimes.
Yeah.
And we've already got a Christian Daly type player in Balbuena, so it's just a question of which one would you rather have on the bench, Daly or Balbuena.
Yeah. I don't think Daly gets in ahead of our two current centre backs.
No, I don't think so. I think I might have a prime Daly ahead of Balbuena. I think Christian Daly is someone that gets it, but I think he gets it every club.
Absolutely.
He just gets it every club. Though,
Such a good.
Do you know my favourite memory of Christian Daly, apart from this game, is when Scotland played Germany. We played Germany in the qualifiers and we got beat, and the referee was just against Scotland from the start to the finish. We just couldn't get anywhere. And after the game, Bertie Vogts, remember him? Remember Bertie?
Yeah. We used to call him Dirty Blokes.
Yeah, well, he was getting interviewed after the game, and all you could hear in the background, Christian Daly obviously come in, all you could hear is slamming around, and all you hear is, cheating fucking bastards. So Bertie's like, Christian, because he's live on Sky Sports, and he's like, fucking cheating bastards. So that was Christian Daly, summed right up. I loved Christian.
Yeah, good guy, mate. Good guy, good professional.
Yeah. Tom Bull saying he would have Christian Daly. Greg says he would have Rio Coker. That's an interesting shout. He said Rio Coker in form before it went to his head, box to box. I mean,
yeah. Do you know what? He's probably right. Actually,
yeah, I'm thinking about that as well. I think he's got a very good point there. Mark Boundy, considering how much Felipe Anderson bottles tackles, can you imagine him playing a game like this? No.
Also, look at the state of the pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, the pitch is atrocious.
Yeah, they're now discussing Lomas. Tone saying he'd have Lomas. Tom Bull saying he agrees Lomas was class and underrated in his opinion. But look at Bobby here. Just holds
it. It's a really good player, mate. Yeah. It's a really good player.
Oh, I want to go watch a Bobby Zamora highlights reel after this. Does
Oh
one
well, yeah.
exist?
So BCC a lot of skills,
Yeah.
and Elliot, the centre back he's up against, was a really good player. I mean, this geezer won things at Leicester under Martin O'Neill.
Yeah.
He was the captain
Yeah,
actually.
he was.
Really good player, Elliot. So and he's
Him and
and
Muzzy, is it?
Zamora's troubling him a lot.
Remember Muzzy, is it?
I do.
What a name. He used to score loads. I remember playing Fancy League back then against my dad, and he would always have Muzzy, is it, in his Fancy League team.
Yeah. Well, he has a good team there, Martin O'Neill.
What's this signal about? He's doing a different signal. What do we do with it? Let's see. Oh, it means short corner. All right. Watch a goal! Watch a goal!
Well, the signal was
Get out of the way. Etherington's coming in. Look at that.
Yeah,
scenes.
man, you can't look. That's. I mean, that is. It's two things. Number one, it's worked out on the training ground. Number two, he's got to execute it. He'd probably do 20 of those on the training ground and 19 miss.
I don't think Etherington's waiting for it though. Look at Etherington. Watch the replay. Look at Etherington. He stutters his start a little bit. His first touch.
I also what I do think is good about that is to actually keep your composure when someone's closing down on you that much. To still hit it on target, not to flinch, not to get out of the way. Yeah, I like Pardew. I really do like Pardew.
That was on the real strike. That proper celebration in the crowd and on the pitch as well. Look at it. You can just see what it means to the players.
Yeah, there you go. Even Stevens, mate.
Mark's defending the state of the pitch. After you just mentioned it, says back then it was all soil and no plastic, so this is like really good condition.
I don't think it was actually, Mark. To be perfectly honest with you, I think if you go and watch the one before the first leg, I think you'll see Ipswich's pitch is a lot better than this one. And there were still nice pitches there. I think if you go and look at Arsenal's pitch during this time, Arsenal's pitch was like a snooker table. I do think I do remember this at this time. We did not have the best of pitches there. I don't think Pardew was that bothered about it. In all honesty, I know what he's saying. They didn't have the 4G pitches, but ours. I do remember ours not being a very good pitch. Basically,
I'm gonna go watch this later. Once we finish this, I'm gonna go back and watch it with the sound on, just the goals. So the only thing bad about doing this watch along is I don't have any sound. So that's when Etherington score and then places go mental. I thought, I want to listen to that noise again. Because people in the live chat are saying that goosebumps, and even watching it back, they've got like their hairs are standing up on their arms and stuff. I
wonder how many people have seen themselves on this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or in the crowd. You know what I mean? It's funny. I mean, you'll have the same, Geo. And it's funny how many people now, because we do the boats, because we do videos and the rest of it, how many people, when you look at the crowds, how many people we got to meet, you recognise in the crowd now.
It's because of social media as well. Social media, you can recognise people. And also people post their own pictures, don't they? So if someone's in the crowd, they'll post up a picture going, here's me in the crowd. Yes. So you can't help but notice them the second time you watch it.
Yeah, I may be disappointed there. I mean, you'd be going mad if you were an Ipswich fan then. The way Ben cut that ball back, you would not have been happy with that at all.
No, well, it's 1-1 now, so the game will get a bit livelier because now it's heading to extra time as it stands.
He really closed down well then, didn't he, Connolly?
Yeah. Pete Fountain, how did it compare to the last game at the Bowling for atmosphere? It's difficult, isn't it? The last game at Upton Park is such like a hard game to compare anything to because it's literally a one-off, and it's not even like a one-off in my lifetime. It's a one-off in everyone's lifetime. It doesn't matter if you're 60 years old, 20 years old, or 10 years old. The last game at Upton Park is a one-off for everybody's lifetime, and it's not often you can say that loads of generations will experience something that only happens once, and it doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, this is my favourite game by far. Even, I don't know. See, if the last game at Upton Park wasn't the last game at Upton Park, this would be my favourite game. Do you know what I mean? If you picked up the atmosphere, the score, and you moved it to the middle of the season, just a normal league game, this one would be up there. But then again, you could argue if you take the playoff semi-final aspect away from this, that would change it a little bit. So it's hard. It's different. the thing I loved about this is because went to school just full of Man United fans, and obviously I was off school to come down for this one. And when I went back, it's one of those rare days. I'm proud as hell to be a West Ham fan and walking around with some sort of West Ham merchandise on. I snuck it into my school uniform. You're walking around supporting a Championship club, and it's like, I don't care if you won the Premier League, just beat Ipswich.
Yeah, I think there's so much of that is about supporting West Ham. No, you take that on the chin. You know, a lot of people don't get it. I've got to say, particularly when you get well, it's not just now. You see it now. It's prevalent because you know, as you say, you got social media, you got comments on videos, all the rest of it. It's prevalent, but it's always been that with people that like my son. My son's got a friend who he's got a friend. I'm sorry, I'm being careful what I say because I know his dad watches our stuff. Basically, he supports a big team,
Okay.
right? He supports a big team, one of the big teams, and and my son often gets teased, you know, because West Ham are not doing well, West Ham are not doing as well as my team. But as I say to my son, that's not really what it's about. You can actually turn around to him and say, well, how many games have you actually been to? And the answer's none, because you support a team that's so far away you don't have a chance to go and see it, which obviously doesn't resonate with what you do, Geo, because you travel so far away.
Well,
but
I used to say that to people, because the people that support Man U, I'd been to Old Trafford more times than them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to say to them, I've been to Old Trafford more than you. I don't even support your team.
Yeah, you know, it's and I sort of had to drive that into, actually, you're better off supporting a team and feeling an attachment with a club and actually going to the games and feeling like you know a bit about it than supporting a team that you never see play. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this has always been the way. Absolutely, you would take being at this game and enjoying all the success of it and all the atmosphere and everything about this game more than whatever being a Man U fan and just watching them win the Champions League on telly. You get so much more from being involved in this. Absolutely.
Is this the season we had the dark navy away kit?
Is this job serve?
Yeah, because I had Carrick on the back of that shirt, and it had the nationwide logo on the bottom of the number. I had like the do you know what I mean? Like the nationwide championship logo was on the bottom of the number 6 when I had Carrick's name and number on my back, because I remember wanting Defoe on the back, and my dad basically said, "No, you're not getting Defoe." And luckily, well, he was right. He left in January, didn't he?
He was right.
So I wanted Defoe on it, and I wasn't allowed Defoe, so I went with Carrick, and that was acceptable. So my dad also knew he would stick around for a year somehow. But yeah, this.
I mean, Harewood he's just putting in a shift. He's being in a. That's what he's doing. He's just putting in a shift.
Brian Dean, bloody hell.
Yeah, man. Who scored the first ever Premier League goal?
Hey, there you go. Tell me something, actually.
I'm not sure about this substitution.
I was about to say, if I was at the game right now, I'd be sitting there going, "What are you doing, Pards?"
Yeah.
He's just been running Matt Elliott all over the park. Why are you taking him off?
Yeah, he's had a good game, hasn't
he? Yeah. Crikey, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, hey, I mean, you know, good, really good target, man, Brian Dean. You know, but obviously he's at the end of his career here.
Yeah. Even as a West Ham fan, I still remember him from his time at like Leicester rather than West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good career. But there were a lot of players like that.
Yeah. Someone made a good comment. Tone says, "Seeing the pitch like this with the old view, my God, the stands in the end really weren't that close to the pitch."
No, he's absolutely right. And look at the West Stand.
Yeah.
Look at the West Stand where the dugouts are. But it didn't used to be like this. This is the thing. You know, when people talk about West Ham being close to the pitch and all the rest of it, particularly the East Stand of Chicken Run.
Yeah, they're not talking about this version.
That was before the West Stand got rebuilt. Because that West Stand you can see there, they actually built that behind the old stand. So as they didn't lose out. They didn't do what Tottenham did or what a lot of them do, which is close part of the stadium for part of the season. No, we kept it all there and they built it behind. It was miles away from the pitch. It really was. And it was never the same after that. I was a big one at that. When we did when we were in Upton Park last bit, and when I interviewed the guy, what was his name? Is it Mendes? Who I interviewed by the side of the pitch, the journalist, and it was a Telegraph guy on the Sunday supplement, and we were talking about it then. It's on the channel somewhere, and he was talking about during the interview. He said he was talking about it being close to the pitch, and I said, "Well, look, not here, is it?" And I pointed down where he was standing. He said, "No, I guess not." It wasn't. It wasn't. Not after they built that stand. It was a long way from the pitch.
It's still a hell of a lot closer than what we currently got, though, isn't it? It didn't feel that far away when you were in the ground, though. It didn't feel.
No. Yeah. I mean, I think the East Stand was still the closest part to it, but what they'd done is they'd moved the pitch over to try and make that horrendous gap there not look so bad. But the whole point is, the East End was meant to then be redone, and then moved closer, and then they would move the pitch over, and it would be close again. It's just they only completed 3/4 of the job, basically. There you go.
There you go. Fun fact from KP: Brian Deane scored the goal at Wigan, which knocked them out of the playoff spot and brought in Crystal Palace to the top 6, and then they obviously went on to beat us in the final. So Brian Deane is the reason we did not get promoted. By helping us beat Wigan. Cheers, Brian. Nice one.
Yeah. I was, my best mate, a Crystal Palace fan. He was happy that day. I'd say.
Yeah, I've never considered that actually. That must have been right.
Yeah.
Awkward one.
Yeah. It was horrible. It's a very.
You guys watching live, drop a like on the video. Keep your comments coming in, whether there's questions or your actual comments. We'll keep reading out your comments as well. We've still got half an hour of the game to go. We're on 60 minutes and 35 seconds of the game. West Ham just taking a big long goal kick up to Brian Deane, who's flicked on to nobody.
There you go. You would be thinking, though, you're right. Tomorrow's off. You'd be thinking, do we want to win this game or not?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been very happy. But, then, I mean, like I said, as a child, I wouldn't have understood the importance of substitutions back then. I don't think, but now, after watching Zamora batter them for 55 minutes, and you're thinking, what the hell? What is that?
I mean, that's really good play.
Yeah.
That is really good play. I mean, the way he played it out to the wing, got back in there, and then cushioned the header down for Connolly is very. That ball there to the wing, gets back in position, moves, heads him. That's really good target. That's as good as a target man plays.
Penalty strikers would not do that these days. That Brian Deane guy is heading at a goal. There is no way he's heading it down into the box. Whoever it is these days. What striker could you name would head it down into the 6-yarder unselfishly and say, there you go, on you go, you take it? I'll give you Troy Deeney. I'm struggling to think of another target man that would. Well, I suppose target men are going, aren't they? There's not much target men. The funny thing is, when we were playing FIFA, I don't really have anyone left with a target man. And I suppose target men are getting sort of cultured out of football. And they're the people that will head it back to you, but would Ali have done that? I'm not that sure he would do. I know he's got a lot of assists, but it doesn't necessarily tend to be like that. But, Aubameyang, Lacazette, I think they would have tried to flick it at the goal. Rick Codger kindly has given us a £5. Rick Codger says, love Hammers chat, but sorry.
Thank you, Rick.
But sorry I can't be a patron. I do not have enough money. Do not apologise. Do never apologise for that. We'll keep making loads of content for people, whether you're a patron or not. We like to think
100%.
We like to think we've done a good job during this time since football stopped until football begins. The first thing we did was phone each other and say, right, what we're going to do, and we thought, right, we're going to have to come up with ideas. Some original, some a bit, easy and not great to watch. The FIFA one's a bit different. It's different, easy to make. We did a Netflix video. It's not something we particularly think should go on the channel, and we'll probably unlist it when football comes back, but we want to make content to hopefully give people something to watch, and this is a different idea as well, thanks to Gary Page. Different question from Stuart. Are you ready for a different one? You're going to have to think for this.
Oh yeah, go on, I don't want to think yet.
Stuart says, not related to the Ipswich game, but who do you think we should play for Mark Noble's testimonial, and which former players would you choose to play? Is you getting another one? This isn't someone mentioned this in Cup of Tea.
That's a good point, actually. He said it.
Someone in the cup of tea, right? I remember reading the question said, who do you think should be the opponent for Mark Noble's testimonial? So I didn't pick it up because I didn't want to. Because obviously I thought the guy made an error, forgetting that Mark Noble's already had one. So I didn't say anything because I thought I'm not going to mug this guy off for making a genuine error, right? But now that Stuart said it, it's now making me think. I mean, you missed something. Is Mark Noble getting another testimonial?
No.
Would you give him another one?
No.
Can you have two? Or do you have to do like 20 years?
I guess you can do what... It's a good play again. I guess you can do what you want. Go on. That's good awareness. That's just really... He's fluffed his up. But really, really good play there. Really good play. No, I don't... Look, Mark Noble has had a testimonial. And he got it at Upton Park as well. I mean, that it throws into light whether or not you can probably do that at a new ground as well. We only have a very limited number of games that we can play there.
Yeah.
You probably don't have access to it at the time that you want to do the time anyway, because it probably goes into athletics mode or whatever. I think with all that,
I would play the testimonial in athletics mode. I'd say get rid of the scaffold and then we'll have a testimonial.
No, I wouldn't do it. He will not better his first testimonial. You just won't get better than that. That was special, and the Dean Ashton goal and all the rest of it, and the Dylan Tombida's brother scored a goal. Adrian, yeah. No, I think he's had it. I think he's had it. I really do.
Winston Reid will be entitled to one. He's almost done 10 years now, Winston.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. Be interesting to see if they can. I do wonder if they can.
I don't think they'll give him one. I think you're obliged to, aren't you? Have you not? It's almost like a right, isn't it? If you've done 10 years,
so.
I think it's yours. It's not no longer up to the club. It's a case of you must give them a testimonial. I think it's in their contracts and stuff. Because Phil Jones is certainly entitled to one at Man United, and he himself has chosen not to go with it because he believes no one will turn up. Which it's so sad though. But honestly, wait, hang on. This annoyed me when I read it. Right, it genuinely made me angry because I thought this is what's wrong with modern football. This guy's given 10 years to the club. Now, whether you think he's good or not, I don't think it matters when it comes to service. Right, when it comes to length of service, I don't think there's any question about a player's ability or anything like that. He's been there for 10 years. I just think for 20 quid or whatever your ticket's going to be, which is going to go to charity, I think people should make an effort, get up and go and thank the guy for 10 years of service, because it's the same people that next time a Man United player says, "Oh, I don't want to play for Man U," they're going to go, loyalty, lack of loyalty, disgraceful. Well, where was your loyalty when Phil Jones reached 10 years? And I hope people remind Man United fans, next time a Man United player tries to leave their club, Pogba, for example, he's probably getting battered at the minute for lack of loyalty. I just hope people remind Man United fans, well, when Phil Jones was due to be rewarded for his loyalty, you weren't interested then, were you? You can't have it both ways. That's what... It's a bit like the Winston Reid thing. I've seen people say, bin off Reid or blah, blah, blah. I just think, well, then you can't complain about Marko Arnautovic.
Yeah, look, I would disagree with Phil Jones, by the way, on that. Because, firstly, Man United fans have not done that. It's Phil Jones suspecting that they wouldn't turn up.
But all you have to do is check social media, and the amount of Man United fans tweeting about it, saying, "Oh, fuck it, you can't have a testimonial," blah 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 blah. I think.
Do you know what? It has long been aware that people tweet about football and not necessarily the ones that turn up and go. There's a lot of people who don't even go on the internet. You know this from when we go to games. A lot of people don't even go on the internet that go to games. No, knowing what I know about Man United, knowing what I know about the tickets, I can tell you now. If Phil Jones had a testimonial, and it was packed out with the best Man United players plus Ryan Giggs on the wing and blah blah. Maybe
hang on a minute. Now they're turning up to see Giggs and stuff rather than thank Phil Jones.
But that's what a testimonial is.
Not always. It could be the current Man United team against Lazio.
Maybe, but more or less there'll be other players in there. You know, almost every single time there'll be someone in there of interest, a previous player or something like that. I think Phil Jones has got it wrong. I think if Phil Jones had a testimonial, and you know there was some other, as I say, some older players in there that had, you know, come back. Paul Scholes playing central midfield, or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think they get close to full capacity in there at 20 quid because there's a lot of people can't get to Man United games. They've got a massive fan base. I mean, also you got to remember is Man United's in Salford, is in the city of Salford. There's a lot of people. A lot of people live in and around there, what's it called, Swinton, Walkden, Farnworth, places like that. They can't afford a little Holton. They can't afford to go to Man United. I'm pretty sure at 10, 15 quid they pack out Man United. I think he might have read it a little bit wrong there. I think he might have got one. So yeah, I think he would. I think people turn up, but he got to be done right. But as I say, we're not in Man United's position. They own their own stadium.
Winston should have one, regardless of the stadium issue. Do you think Winston? Would you like to see Winston be the? Someone's going to do it. Well, I don't know. I don't know if someone ever will do it, but be the first ever testimonial at the London Stadium. Winston Reid.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I would give him it.
Because he's not playing because of him at the moment. He would look, if Vincent Wade was given a choice, he'd have rather been playing at West Ham, got fit, and been back in the team.
Is this the moment? I think this might be the moment. Goal! And he's hurt his pecker. Look at Pardew in the crowd. Proper manager. He's in the crowd celebrating. Christian Daly's prodded it home and injured his nuts in the process. Look at the crowd though. Look at it. I'm telling you now, that night, that stadium shook. That stadium moved that night. The noise was just incredible. I've never heard the noise since. Maybe the last game at Upton Park, but that's it. Like, the noise that night was just unbelievable. It's the least classy goal you'll ever see, wouldn't it?
No, but then we've missed a lot of chances, to be fair. So, which you know, so
it's
it was. I think
it's
deserved.
It's a deserved lead.
Yeah, 100%.
Look at it. Look at that crowd though. The crowd is just loving that. That noise that night after that goal was just unbelievable.
Pardew. Superb though.
The crowd didn't go too mental. Do you know if he'd done that in a different part of the crowd, he would have been smothered. Like Tevez. Remember when Tevez jumped in? He got covered, he was gone. People in the third row there looked at Pardew going, "What are you doing? You're not allowed in here. Get out."
Yeah, now you're on squeaky bum time.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Look at the crowd though, look at it. Do you know what's mental? There's someone watching this, someone's watching along and that crowd's just gone over them. They're looking at themselves from 16 years ago.
Yeah.
You'd have to even sort of like rewind it to double check it was actually you. It's like, there I am. Was it me? I think it was me. Let me just double check.
I'd like to think they already know they're on it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know because I've never watched this. I mean, this was uploaded on a week ago. It's the only version of the full game on YouTube. This because it's not meant to be here. I don't think it'll be here in a month. This video will be gone in a month, I think.
Well, I've still not watched the cup final game against Cardiff. At Cardiff against Liverpool. I was there, but I haven't watched it.
Well, someone's asking us. Tom Bull asked us to watch the Bradford game after this one. Not like today, but next week or something. Asked us to watch the 5-4 win against Bradford. Now that's on West Ham's official YouTube channel, so the
quality's better.
Yeah, well, and it's reliable and whatnot. So we can watch that. If there's enough people like this and want us to do another one, we'll do that. But that's Steve Lomas getting booked. The referee certainly had his notepad out.
He did. And now's the time for getting booked. Now you take a few cards. Now you do what you got to do.
Time to get dirty.
I said Connolly's put in a shift in this game as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm going to say he was my man of the match. I know there's still another 20 minutes to go, but it's going to take something special to beat David Connolly for man of the match here. I think he was just unbelievable. You don't get that these days, do you? Like, that's almost like Firmino today, or Jamie Vardy.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty. Oh, there must be plenty of strikers that run around, do a lot of running around.
Lower league maybe, but in the Premier League they're a bit more delicate.
Mm.
Would Sebastian Aller do this much running around? No, not a chance.
No, but I mean, you're not comparing apples with apples there, are you? Really? It's
no, I'm comparing a striker to a striker.
Yeah, but there would have been other players that did that here that did the walking around. I'm not saying, you're saying there's no one that does any running around. I don't know. Does Callum Wilson not do any running rounds? Does Jamie Vardy not do? I don't know. I think there's probably are strikers that do any. You know, I mean. We're talking David Connolly, a high energy player. He wouldn't call Sebastian Haller that. There must be players.
Pete's asking, why did Connolly go off the boil? Someone asked earlier was asking, why did we sell him? Why did we get rid of him? We sold him this summer, didn't we? He was only here for a year.
Well, he wasn't all that. Let's be fair.
No.
He wasn't like this all the time.
No.
You know, that's I can remember some quite.
To be honest with you, I think the answer is playing right midfield as well.
Yes, indeed. I can remember some quite uncomplimentary comments about Connolly. To be perfectly honest with you, he was not always the most popular player in the world. So it's easy to look at this and think, oh well, what a player.
It's a bit like Nicky Maynard to me. He was one of those players that was good in that division. And that's it. Like it's in the modern day it would be Jordan Rhodes. He was always scoring, but he was never good enough to go up a level. But you get a lot of players like that. They're really good, but you just couldn't step up. There's no chance. And I think Connolly was a bit like that. I mean, he scored. I'm sure he scored about 10 goals that this season we're watching. I'm sure he still scored 10, so he wasn't poor. He was just.
No. It's not poor, but that ain't gonna get you. You know, in the Championship with all those games and playing against lesser. You know, that's not 30 goals. Do you know what I mean?
All he's asking is, David Connolly ever played in the Premier League?
Don't know.
I think he had a season with someone. Who did we sell him to? I know we made a little bit of money. We bought him for like 300,000 and sold him for like $500,000. We made a little bit of cash. I can't remember who we sold it to. Someone will Google it. Someone will be on Wikipedia seeing if David Connolly played in the Premier League. I don't want to say so, but was it? Oh, I don't know. Ipswich? Did he play for Ipswich later on?
I don't know. That was an important block from Carrick there, though, in that wall. I think that would have gone in. See, now they're getting a bit of pressure, you see.
Do you think if we went up this year, this one we're watching, we beat Palace, I think Carrick would have stuck around?
Yes.
Yeah. I think he would have left West Ham eventually, but I think the difference is we would have got the money from Man U rather than him going via Spurs. I think he would have just went direct to a bigger club. Yeah.
I mean, he's not. Look, everyone does have an ego of some description, but some people got a runaway ego. Do you know what I mean? Michael Carrick has always remained very, very down to earth. He's still the down to earth boy, working class parents from the North East. That's still what he is. He's remained that, but it takes a lot of character to go halfway down the country when you're a kid to live in digs. I can tell you that. And then you just look how he came back for when they had a reunion for the youth team.
Yeah.
He came back off his own steam, and it was quite clear that he had actually remained in touch with a lot of his childhood friends. It wasn't like the first time they'd seen him since he'd gone off and done that. And that shows character as well. It's very easy. There's an old saying, be very nice to people on the way up because you'll meet them again on the way down. And he definitely. He wasn't somebody that had become, Champions League winner, forgotten everybody. And I just think when you're someone like that, it shows you've got some character about you. And so, I like to think he probably would have stuck around.
Do you fear he's too nice to be a manager? He's obviously cutting his cloth as Solskjaer's backroom staff at the minute. I think him and Phil Neville are the two main men alongside him. I don't know if they're the assistant managers or if someone else is the assistant manager, but whenever you watch Man United, it's always Phil Neville, I'm sure it's Phil Neville, and Michael Carrick. They're in his lug hole. It can't be Phil Neville because he's got England women. Is he in Man United? I've got a feeling I've seen Phil Neville, and I don't know.
No, he's. I don't think he is. But
Carrick's definitely there.
Carrick's there. Phelan's there.
But do you think Carrick can step up, or do you think he's too nice? A bit like Zola.
I don't think nice has got anything to do with it. I don't think the nice. What I do think you need is a big personality. I don't see too many really successful managers that are shy.
Yeah.
I don't think you've got to be nasty. By the way, I think you can be. You can be funny. You know, I think a lot of them, but I think they all have the ability to have a nastier streak. You look at the top guys, Klopp and Guardiola, and I mean they can all get the ump. Make no mistake about it. They really can all get the ump. But I do think that people will be looking now, thinking of quiet personalities. But there are some people. I was talking to Nigel Calm the other day. I spoke to him for a long time, that's why I keep on mentioning it. And we got into the subject of Alan Kirbishley. And I had always looked at Alan Kirbishley and thought he was... You look at Alan Kirbishley in interviews, quite quiet, don't say a lot, 2 or 3 word answers, and certainly wouldn't say Alan Kirbishley was funny. Right? I sat next to Alan Kirbishley on the last game, Upton Park. In the press room, when you used to go and get your pies and your food, there was no room in there, mate. There was no room. And I sat next to Alan Kirbishley. And so I know Alan Kirbishley's brother, Bill, from The Who and stuff like that. So I had a little chat with him. Alan Kirbishley talks a lot and is a funny guy. But you would never, if anyone looking at it thinking, oh no, he doesn't say, no, actually, Alan Kirbishley's got quite a lot of character. It's just clearly he decides not to show it to the television cameras. So things like that surprised me. So you don't always know what people are like. Who knows? Who knows? Carrick might be like that. You don't know.
Yeah. Connolly did play in the Premier League. Looks like he played for Wigan, Leicester, and even Sunderland. So he's actually played for 3 teams in the Premier League. I thought I'd seen him in the Premier League, but he's just one of those players. He just wasn't good enough. He'll get you a couple of goals, maybe.
Yeah, it's a journeyman. That's fine, which is fine. I'd love to have been a journeyman.
Yeah, but some players are journeymen because they chase the signing on fees and stuff. I don't know if I'd say David Connolly is one of them. I think he's one of them who goes somewhere, make an impact. He's almost like a short-term gap fix for a lot of clubs, and then they'd want to move him on because he wasn't good enough. So you can get 2 different types of journeymen, can't you? Dan and Ben, actually, watching this, Dan and Ben's the opposite. He's someone that went for money. He moved around, I think, trying to chase a little bit of cash. And it summed it up because on Talk Sport, when someone said he was getting asked about Penny Lee's taking a wage reduction, he's very much saying, I wouldn't take one. I was like, bloody hell, you're not doing yourself any favours here, Darren, mate. I mean,
it's like I said. Quarterback was a gridiron term. It gets applied to football. Journeyman's a boxing term, and it gets applied to football. Your journeyman pro is your guy that's had 50 fights. Is never going to be anywhere near the top 50 fighters in the world, but if he's going to fight everyone that's up and coming. You basically test yourself. You're prolific. But you're not quite top level. But you go a lot of places to do a lot of fights for not the top money and not the top glory. But which I guess is him.
Substitution for West Ham, Rio Coker on for David Connolly, shutting up shop now.
It's shoring it up in the middle.
Yeah, you've seen this one out. We're off. We're away. We're not. Christian Daly and Lomas going in. You wouldn't want to be that Ipswich player in the middle of those two, would you?
No.
Somehow, I don't know if he won it, but the ball certainly went in the direction of the Ipswich player. We're starting to get on the back foot here a little bit. Ipswich are starting to throw a bit at us. They had a penalty shout earlier on. It was a bit weak, but VAR would have had a little looky eye, I'm sure.
Well, that sends out a signal. Of course, now we've just got one big, massive geezer up front as well, so our mobility is going to go now. But that sends out a signal to the team, doesn't it? Basically, right, we're not going to attack as much, and who can criticise, mate? Who can criticise it? It works, obviously.
This is where you're getting nervous. In that crowd, you're getting nervous. Oh, Parder's getting a telling off. He's dressed like he's warming up to come on, Parder. He's got his little shorts on, his t-shirt.
I think he always wanted to. He always fancied it.
He kicked every ball, didn't he, with every player?
Because of course, Alan. Don't forget, Alan Pardew scored a very iconic goal for Crystal Palace. They call him Super Alan Pardew. A very, very iconic. Maybe one of Crystal Palace's favourite ever goals. I think it was it in the FA Cup final or the FA Cup final replay, something like that. He scored a really important goal for Crystal Palace. I remember what it was. Maybe someone else will know. Oh yeah, nobody wanted to pull the old playing shorts on and strap the boots up more than Alan Pardew when he was a very frustrated manager.
Here we are, 83, well, nearly 84 minutes. Here we are, proper time waste. So take a little time to take the free kick, pump it down to Harewood in the corner, and win a throw in a corner. Happy days. See the clock down. Playoffs. Don't know if we're going to see them this season anyway. Stevie Lomas getting told to hurry up by the linesman as he trots over. We've got a lot of captains in this team, don't we? Carrick, Daly, Lomas, Villacroker.
Well, a great point. Great point.
A lot of leaders.
A lot of leadership. I'm pretty sure Dean. I'm pretty sure Dean would have been captain in his time for one club or another.
Yeah, Repka would have had the armband as well.
Yes.
Melville
yes.
at Fulham, would he have worn the captain? I don't know.
Not sure.
Mullins must have. Was he captain at Palace when we bought him?
Don't know.
I think we did, because I remember back then that was the thing, wasn't it? Pardew was basically buying captains. He's buying a team of captains from championships. We've got Rio Coker was Wimbledon's one. I'm sure Mullins was Palace's one. I think we took another couple of captains as well. And
would have been a noisy team, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean Matt Everton would have been a bit scared in that changing room with that little barking at you. A lot of captains. You wouldn't be surprised. Zamora must have wore captain's armband for Fulham. Must have done.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe even had it for us on occasions on a couple of games here and there. It was just the captain went off, but Zamora must have wore it for Fulham. Look at that tackle, proper tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely, I'll tell you what, old Rio Coker's come on here and he's definitely brought some energy on. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Connor says he was made captain 2002-2003 season, so the one before this, by Trevor Francis.
Oh. Yeah, you'd be very nervous at this point.
Yeah, but if you look at there, that happened, right? They've obviously got Elliot up front now, the big lump in the box. But watch our players, they're all shouting at each other. Look at them all. They're all shouting at each other. Saying, hang on a minute, who's marking these guys? Christian Daly with a proper old school defensive mode.
Yeah, grab his shirt.
Yeah, get a hold of him, get him out of the way.
Do you remember how many minutes injury? Great tackle, by the way. How many minutes injury time?
No, not a chance. Scott's asking where the game is. Scott, we're in the 86th minute now. You missed it a little bit, but the link is in the description.
Yeah.
The link is in the description. If anyone wants to watch it back, I mean, if you're watching this on playback, you're kind of buggered by now, but the link's in the description if anyone wants to watch the last 5-10 minutes with us.
Well, and you can go back to the start of this video and do it.
Yeah, but at the start of this video, we tell them where to get the video, don't we? So any final comments or questions, get them in, because we'll only chat for a minute after the full time whistle. We're doing a little watch along, something different, and let us know if you've enjoyed it as well. And if you want to see another one next week or the week before or whatever, let us know what game you want.
I do feel because I don't think Harewood started the game particularly well, but I do feel he's grown into it in the second half. He'd sort of come into his own, really.
He reminds me so much of Antonio in the first half, especially. He's just running past 2 or 3 and making the wrong decision. Look at that tackle.
Oh dear, they still trying to grab him on the way afterwards.
I like Marlon. He's a man of personality.
He's a nice guy, isn't he? He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Thomas Repka.
He don't care.
Just leaves him in a heap, because as a manager though, he must be furious. You've just now allowed them all to get up into the box and launch it in. Here's Matty Etherington. Calm, composure. That's a free kick. We'll have that.
I felt lucky to win that, actually.
He's let worse go earlier on in the game, the ref.
Yeah.
For both teams. Here's Matt Elliott getting pulled by Christian Daly again.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, again, you know, you look at VAR.
Now, though. Yeah, you can't do that now. As soon as that happened, hang on a minute, and listening to see what we're getting told.
I'd you know what? If they were to say, you know, like, we're going to go back to football, but we can't get all the technology and the rest of it, we're going back to football, but without VAR when it's done, I'd say, yeah, fair enough.
Brian Dean just taking out the keeper as well. Oh, I've enjoyed watching this. Here's a good idea. Do you want to do this? This is a really good idea by Richie, right? The 1975 FA Cup finals on YouTube. I know that. Richie's did message me the link. He says, do a watch along on the 3rd of May. It will be 45 years to the day.
Let me look at it first. Let me look at the quality of it. Let me see if it's watchable.
Yeah, Scott's asking if we were at the game. I was at this one. Gonzo was in Miami. Were you at the 1975 final?
I was one.
I was definitely not born.
Yeah, because the only thing, even this, sometimes I'm struggling to tell who's who. You know, so
I think for the final, what I'd have to do is, I'd have to find a way of getting the commentary on my phone in sync with what I'm watching, and put another headphone in so I could hear the commentary in one ear, you in my other ear. That way, you'd have to get a little headphone or something if you could, and put it from your TV into your ear, and have me in one ear.
Oh, I mean, come on.
Oh, I forgot about that Lomas deflecting that shot. Oh,
I was so pleased he caught that, you know.
I got nervous watching it, even though I know that they don't score.
I know. You know, it's, I mean, how many times, whoever that player is, do you reckon he's replayed that in his mind, in his head?
I'm sure it hits Lomas as well, that one. I'm sure it hits Lomas.
Westlake.
I'm sure it nicks off his head.
Fine margins and all that, mate.
Yeah, there's people in the live chat saying that the quality of the finals are really good. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's promising.
Oh, yeah. I'll have a look at it. Let me have a look at it. Yeah. See, the thing is, I can't, because what we're doing here, I can't do it on the laptop. It has to be on the telly. So I'll have a look.
YouTube. It is on YouTube. And Mark's saying actually the quality of the finals on YouTube is better than this. It really surprised me because this isn't an official upload, is it? Someone's like ripped this and then uploaded it themselves. This is almost like converting a VHS to a digital format. Rob is asking if you can remember the 1980 Cup final.
I can remember it. I remember the day so well. Yeah.
Oh, even though you were only 6.
Yeah, I remember the day really well. I remember the old man.
I can't remember anything when I'm 6.
Yeah, I remember my day. I got bribed with an Action Man tank because I got jumped. Basically, my stepdad dropped me off at my nan's because he was going to the game, and we lived in Ilford, but my nan lived in Shepherd's Bush, and he dropped me off at my nan's before he went on to Wembley. So so I could stay there. And yeah, I remember opening my Action Man tank, and then that was it. And then I remember sitting down with my granddad when he had the game on, and granddad was, even though he lived in West London, then granddad was from East, was an East Ender, and he was telling me all about it. And the first game I ever really remember watching on telly, maybe games been on telly before that, but that's the first time I ever really remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do remember. I remember Grandad being really happy. The old man coming back buzzing. I do.
So yeah, Cup final's got potential there. 3rd of May, that gives us a couple of weeks. That's good. We can maybe do that on the 45th anniversary. I like that idea. I've never watched the whole game, believe it or not. I've watched the highlights, but I don't think I've ever watched the whole game. Here we go. Everyone back to defend. Keeper's up and everything.
Keeper, yeah.
Goal kick. Oh, he's getting a corner. Daly's not happy. He's accusing the referee of... This is proper squeaky bum, this, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Who won it?
I know, but what a hero he would have been.
It's all over.
It's all over. Except we didn't know because we ain't got the sound on. It's all over. Oh, did you see that? The policeman give Pardew a cheeky tap on the bum.
Yeah, the copper is a hammer. The copper is a hammer. There you go. Michael Carrick's final ever game up in Park, West Ham. West Ham off to the playoff final to face Crystal Palace. And look at that crowd.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do you know, watching this back, I'm actually thinking I prefer this over the last game at Upton Park now. I wonder if anyone else who's watched this whole 90 minutes with us is feeling the same way. If you were at both of them, do you prefer this one now that you've watched it? Have you changed your mind? I think I'm changing my mind now. Because the noise was just insane on this. I think it's also because we could have lost against Man United and the atmosphere would have still been good. If you lost that night, the atmosphere wouldn't have been as good. So, I don't know, it was just perfect that night for football.
Is that Don Hutchinson?
Yeah.
Shirt. Look, why you want to flame him? He shouldn't be allowed out wearing that type of stuff.
He was injured all the time back then, weren't he? That was he was just done that season. He was just done. Anyway, Gonzo, we'll wrap that one up.
We'll wrap that one up, mate. We'll wrap that one up. I'm starving.
Yeah, me too. What are you having? We have fajitas.
Got steak. I've got steak to put in the. We got a little portable pizza oven called a rock box, and it'll cook the steak in about 2 minutes.
That's right. You're sure enough now. But anyway, thank you for joining us. If you've enjoyed it, drop a like on it. Scouting you around here. We might be back next week or the week after with the 1975 Cup final. Thanks for your suggestion. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in a bit. Cheers, Gonzo. I'll see you soon.
Cheers, mate.